This story has stayed with me for over a decade, and even now, I still get chills thinking about it. It happened when I was about 8 or 9 years old, in a rough little neighborhood where most families didn't have much. We didn't have phones, video games, or gadgets to distract us, so we spent all our time outside, making up games, running through yards, and just being reckless kids. One afternoon, we were playing hide and seek. There were four of us hiding and only one seeker. To make it more exciting, we decided to sneak over to what we called the rich side of the neighborhood. It wasn't really rich, but compared to our street, the two-story homes and the nearby forest with a creek made it feel like another world. We were laughing, hopping fences, and cutting through yards when suddenly we heard it, an ear-piercing scream. It came from about 4 or 5 houses away. We all froze, staring at each other, until I realized one of our friends, Isaac, wasn't with us anymore. We heard the scream again. My stomach dropped. We all rushed toward the sound. But when we reached the spot, there was nothing, just an empty lot leading into the forest. I knew Isaac must have been back there. So trying to act brave, I went into the woods while the others stayed behind. The deeper I went, the colder and darker it felt. I kept calling his name until finally I heard his voice trembling. Down here. Be quiet. When I found him, he told me something that made my blood run cold. He had been hiding near the creek when he noticed someone watching him. A man in a black hoodie standing behind a tree. The moment Isaac moved, the man darted away. That's when Isaac started screaming and ran deeper into the woods. Just as he finished telling me this, we both heard a twig snap. Slowly, we looked up. There he was. A man in a black hoodie, crouched low in the brush, scanning the forest floor like he was searching for something or someone. I couldn't see his face, but I saw something in his hand. Whether it was just a stick or something else, I wasn't waiting around to find out. The second he turned his back, we bolted. We didn't care how loud we were. We just ran. We burst out of the trees and found our friends, shouting at them to run too. That's when things got worse. The street was completely empty, not a single car. Then we heard it, the roar of an engine. A silver Mustang came flying around the corner, tinted windows so dark we couldn't see inside. The car was heading straight toward us. My whole body locked up with fear. I just knew it was the same guy. I yelled at my friends to scatter and hide in different yards. We tore through alleys, jumped fences, and hid wherever we could. But no matter where I went, I could still hear that engine revving in the distance. Closer and closer. I ran until I didn't even recognize the streets anymore. The sky was starting to darken. And finally, the sound faded. Either he gave up, or I got far enough away. By the time I made it home, I was completely drained. I didn't tell my parents. I just cried myself to sleep. But that wasn't the end. For months afterward, we kept seeing that same silver Mustang around the neighborhood, sometimes near our school, sometimes parked by the corner store. Maybe it was all in our heads, just kids convincing themselves of the worst. But deep down, I don't think it was a coincidence. The man never came after us again, but the memory of that night has never left me. Even now, if I see a silver Mustang with dark windows, I get the same sinking feeling in my chest. So, to the man in the black hoodie with the silver Mustang, let's never meet again. When I was 8 years old, I lived on a tiny cul-de-sac right on the edge of a lake. Most of the houses there were seasonal, empty once the summer ended. By fall, our street was practically deserted, except for a few year-round families. Everybody knew everybody, and you could recognize anyone instantly just by the car they drove. One afternoon, I got off the school bus, tossed my backpack in the yard, and started shooting hoops in the street. My mom was home. I'd seen her car in the driveway, and she'd even smiled at me before going back inside to work. I thought I was safe. That's when a car turned down my street. I didn't recognize it. The plates weren't even from our state. That alone was strange. Nobody visited our street, especially in the middle of a workday. Most people only came down to turn around after looking at the lake. Sure enough, a minute later, the car came back. But this time, it stopped. The man inside rolled down his window. He was in his early 30s, dressed like he was heading to a party, not a quiet lake town in autumn. With a big grin, he called out, "Hey kid, let me see the ball." I handed it over. He tried tossing it into the hoop but missed. Laughing, he said, "Damn, go grab it for me." Let me try again. At first, I thought he was cool, charismatic, friendly. But when I bent down to pick up the ball, I heard it. A camera click. He had just taken a picture of me. Even at 8, alarm bells started ringing in my head. But before I could react, I handed him the ball again. This time, he didn't let go. He grabbed my wrist. The ball hit the ground. His grip tightened. And then, with his free hand, he tried to lace his fingers between mine. His voice dropped low. "Just let it happen, kid. Enjoy this. Don't even think about screaming. Nobody will hear you." I froze. My mom was literally inside the house. She'd hear me in seconds. But he didn't know that. He started rolling the car forward, forcing me to stumble alongside him as he clutched my hand. His face twisted in some disgusting mix of pleasure. His eyes rolling back, his tongue out. It was sick. And then I made a choice. I screamed. His eyes went wide. Oh shit. He let go and floored it, tires screeching, as he tore off down the narrow road, even running over a neighbor's lawn in his panic. My mom burst out the door, but it was too late. He was gone. That night, things got worse. My siblings stayed over at friends' houses, which meant I was alone in my room. My parents tried to comfort me. They closed the curtains and even moved a TV in, so I'd have something to distract me. I stayed up late watching cartoons. Around 1 a.m., I heard it, knocking on my window. At first, I thought maybe it was one of my siblings sneaking home, but the fear from earlier came rushing back. I ran to my parents' room and told my mom. She was groggy, squinting through the dark, when she suddenly screamed. Because he was there, the man, staring in through their window from the backyard. And then he said it, his voice clear in the night. I just wanted to hold his hand. My dad grabbed a baseball bat and ran outside in nothing but his underwear. But the man was gone, vanishing into the woods behind our house. The police came. We installed security. My parents kept us closer to home. Nothing ever happened again. No one on our street saw him again. The only trace of him was that out-of-state license plate. Wherever he came from, he probably went back. But I'll never forget his words, or how close I came to disappearing forever. If you've made it this far, you're braver than most. But remember, the scariest stories are the ones that haven't been told yet. Somewhere out there, another nightmare is unfolding, and we'll be here to tell it. Sleep well, if you can. This is Zoldyck signing off. Until the darkness calls again.